actually see. I think I need like a repair kit or something, right? Yeah, I can add mods, but I don't have any way to repair it right now. Remember in Fallout 3, the way that you repaired weapons is um, you got one that was the same weapon but was a lower durability, and you had to sacrifice the weapons to repair them, which meant some of the weapons you'd always have repaired because you would always find them around, and other weapons you'd basically never be able to keep repaired because if you don't find another one, then how can you fix it? This this game, I think, does away with that in favor of just giving you repair kits that you can use on whatever weapon you want to use them on.
I'm done being nice. If you don't hand Ringo over soon, I'm going to get my friends and we're burning this town to the ground. Got it?
We'll keep that in mind. Now, if you're not gonna buy something, get out.
What the hell is your problem?
You ran into me, jackass.
Well, you've been causing quite a stir. Glad I finally got to meet you. Welcome to the Prospector Saloon. Looks like our little town got itself dragged into the middle of something we don't want anything to do with. About a week ago, this traitor, Ringo, comes into town. Survivor of an attack, he says. Bad men after him. Needs a place to hide. We figured he was just in shock, so we gave him a place to lie low. We didn't actually expect anyone to come after him. He's holed up at the abandoned gas station up the hill. Some of the others, like Sonny, will probably stand up for Ringo if he asks for help, which he hasn't. Personally, I hope he sneaks out of town one night and takes the powder gangers with him. Chain gangs, really. The NCR brought them in from California to work on the rail lines. Problem is, it turns out that giving convicts a bunch of dynamite and blasting powder isn't the best idea. It was a big escape not too long ago. Some of them stuck together so they could make trouble. That's what we're dealing with now. You mean murder him? That's not our way, even if Cobb is scum. He can bluster and threaten all he wants. All right. If you were able to get Ringo out of this mess, you'd have a decent reputation around Goodsprings. I'd even set you up with a discount. Of course, helping Ringo would also make the powder gangers mad, and they've got a lot of friends out there. Don't know why you'd want to do a thing like that. Yep, you'd get on their good side, but people around here wouldn't appreciate it one bit. He's a convict, just without the chains. Said his name was Cobb. Powder gangers is what they call themselves. Plenty more like him out there. Not much, other than they're a bunch of freeloaders who expected a few rounds on the house. I was able to get them to pay up, though. Of course, one of the great cons did knock my radio to the floor by accident, and it hasn't been working since. They were having some
I don't
kind of
care about
argument
your
about it,
radio.
but the guy in the checkered coat kept shushing them. Sounded like they came in from the north through Quarry Junction. If that's the case, I can't say I blame them for not wanting to go back. That whole area is overrun with the kind of critters that just get mad if you shoot them. Merchants avoid that whole stretch of I-15 like it's radioactive, which it could be for all I know. I didn't hear exactly, but the leader was talking about the strip. Fellow wants to get there and avoid the 15, he'd have to go east. Take Highway 93 up. Sure, the outside looks okay, but I think something broke on the inside. There'd be caps in it for you. I do like to hear what's going on in the world. And that Mr. New Vegas seems like such a gentleman. I know that thing as much as
That's
anyone
right.
else around here.
Trudy doesn't like
It
it.
mostly keeps to itself, which is just fine by me. It acts friendly enough, but I don't trust that whole cheerful cowboy act. I find it all very creepy. Other than rolling around once in a while, it doesn't do anything useful as far as I can tell. I don't know why it took an interest in you, but I'd be careful. It's never helped anyone before. It was here when I took over the saloon 7 years ago. Some people have said its owner lived here, but no one knows who it was. Fine by me.
Lots of talking in this game.
Mostly traders looking to buy bighorn or meat and hides. The traders are the main reason the general store manages to stay in business. Most travelers heading south on the I-15 just push on towards Prim, unless they're in desperate need of supplies.
Anything interesting?
There's always something interesting going on. But the biggest news has to be the come and dust up between the NCR and the Legion over the dam. The new California Republic's got the most power in Nevada. Money, troops, you name it. They do what they can to keep things safe in the region. But if you ask me, they're trying to do too much. They're spread too thin. Slavers, killers, and all other kinds of trouble. They dress up like Roman soldiers, so there's no mistaking it when you see them. The rumor is that the Legion is far larger than the NCR lets on, and that it's been due to luck that the Legion hasn't overrun the territory. I'm pretty sure the NCR wants to hold on to the dam because it's one of the few places around that can make electricity. The Legion are a bunch of savages, though. No idea why they'd want the dam. Probably plan on destroying it or something.
Alright, let's see if there's anything.
I'm sure I've got something you like.
Anything here that I want to buy or sell. So I got plenty of stuff that I don't actually need, like bloat fly meat. Not that that sells for much. Actually, I don't know that I have anything that I really want to sell. Like, most of the stuff here gets used for other things. And I don't think I mean, I'll sell the drugs off, I guess. I don't ever really use the drugs in this game. It's like the rebound. Probably sell the scotch. And then let's see, does she have anything I want? Probably not, because it's all just food and stuff, basically. Yeah, no, we're good. Okay.
Thanks. Be careful out there.
Alright, let's go look at the radio. I've got a pretty good repair skill, so I don't think it's going to be difficult for me to fix it.
Feeling thirsty? I can take care of that. Yeah, I heard it turn right back on after you got done tinkering with it.
Yay.
Here's some caps for the work.
And I can argue to try and get more caps. I mean, my barter's pretty good, so. But I'll be
You're
nice
welcome.
now.
So can I get you anything? Be careful out there.
Alright. So at this point, we got a couple different options. We can do this thing, where we go talk to Ringo and we help out there. Or we can just say, buy Goodsprings and move on to the next area in Prim. But let's do the gunfight, because why not? Because we're here anyway, right? Oh, right, this is the storage area, which I could come in here and try and hack the computer and get her safe open and take whatever money or what have you she has in there. Oh, I guess Sonny's back. But I'm not going to worry too awful much about that right now. Instead, let's go find us Ringo.
That's close enough. Who are you, and what do you want with me? Sorry about the gun. You just caught me off guard, that's all. We got off to a bad start. Let's say we start over with a friendly game of Caravan. You know how to play? Yeah. He doesn't look very tough, though. I hear he's afraid I'll shoot him down from one of the windows when I see him. And he's right. I'll have a much bigger problem once his friends show up. There's no way I could handle all of them in a gunfight. I'm gonna lay low for as long as I can, assuming the town doesn't throw me to the wolves. I've got no chance against the gang on my own. We'd just end up sharing the same grave if it's just the two of us. Now, if some of the other people in town were also on board... Start with Sunny Smiles. She's been friendlier than most around here.
Alright, I'm gonna loot your little hidey hole here. And then I'll go talk to Sunny about helping you not die. The boxes, they floated. Apparently those bullets are actually his, so I can't take those. I need a lockpick skill of 25 to open that easy lock, and I don't have a lockpick skill really at all. So, no picking of locks to be done right now, I guess. Whoop. Sonny, you okay?
Hi there. Sticking around Goodsprings for a while longer? Say no more. I'm in. Joe Cobb talks about leaving us alone if we hand over Ringo, but I know his type. He and his friends will come after the town eventually. However, between you, me, and Ringo, we aren't exactly a force to be reckoned with. A lot of people around here look up to Trudy. If you could convince Trudy to join us, some of the folks in town might decide to help out as well. I know Easy Pete's got a stock of dynamite somewhere, and Chet just got a shipment of leather armor we could borrow. Talk to them as well. Finally, there's a good chance we'll all end up with extra holes in us. So if Doc Mitchell could cough up some extra stim packs, that'd be great.
A silver tongue would help. Convincing Trudy that we had a good plan to win the fight would also help.
I don't think give is in Chet's vocabulary. Even with the town at stake, he'd still make you barter with him. Easy Pete's pretty protective of his dynamite. You'd have to convince him you know a thing or two about explosives before you handed it over. Sure can. Take the road southeast out of town till it hits the freeway. Prim is the town with the roller coaster straight south. Can't miss it. NCR patrols do a good job of keeping the highway clear, but I'd keep your gun where you can reach it easily. You never know who you'll run into. Off the road, you'll probably start running into hostile wildlife. My advice would be to stick to the highway when you can.
Seems like good advice, I guess.
Not in Goodsprings, no. But if you're up for a little scavenging, there's always the schoolhouse. Most of what's in there is junk, but there's this old safe that even Easy Pete wasn't able to crack with dynamite. If you want to take a shot at it, take these. If the lock's too much for you to handle, reading through the magazine might give you the edge you need. You'll need those to pick the lock. Be careful, though. Put too much pressure on them, and they'll snap. Always happy to help someone down on their luck. I hunt geckos mostly. The meat's pretty good, and I can always find a buyer for the hides. I also help keep the town clear of rat scorpions and coyotes. Not many people live in Goodsprings, so wildlife is always creeping in. Sure, what do you want to know? Southeast of here is Prim. Can't miss it. Since it has the giant old roller coaster right in the middle of town. The NCR's got an outpost there. If you follow the road north, you'll eventually hit Sloan and Quarry Junction. They mine rocks or something, but I heard they got troubles lately. I wouldn't head that direction if I were you, though. Got critters up there that don't take kindly to getting shot. The new California Republic. Bunch of settlers and soldiers coming in from the west, fixing on making Nevada their own. They can be right pushy, but the roads are safer because of them, so I tend to let it go. Not that I got a choice. Well, the wildlife for one thing, rowdy locals for another. They're protecting their own. Just happens to help us. They've been holding off this other group from the east, too. Got a funny name. Call themselves Caesar's Legion. Never seen them in these parts, so I couldn't tell you much. I hear rumors, that's about it. Supposedly they keep slaves and they got some real nasty ways of killing folks. But maybe that's just something folks in the NCR cooked up to make themselves seem more useful here. Less uninvited. Around here, mostly coyotes and geckos. The coyotes are pretty dangerous in large packs, but otherwise they're nothing to really worry about. The geckos aren't too tough, but they've got a nasty bite. I've heard about bigger, nastier versions out in the wasteland, but I've never seen them. Stick to the roads when you can, and steer clear of the hills north of Goodsprings. The critters up there are big and poisonous. If you want to know anything else, just ask.
Everybody in
I'll
this
be
town
waiting.
is just a fount of wisdom. Just advice, 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 advice.
So you're planning on taking on Joe Cobb's gang.
Hey,
Big
leveled up.
risk, but I suppose you have to do what you think is right. I was planning on sitting this one out, but for some reason, I can't help but like you. I'm with you. Let me have a word with a few other folks, and I'll see if I can't round up some more members for this militia you're creating. While everyone does own a gun, we could stand to be a little better equipped. The general store probably has what we need in stock. Be careful out there.
Alright, time to go to the general store and argue with the guy there for a bit. So, this is a level up system. We get 14 skill points that we can put into whatever we'd like. So, I'm going to put some into lockpick, just so I can get up to easy locks there. I'm going to put a few more into speech. Let's do a few more into barter. And then we'll do 2 more in repair and 1 more in speech. Then I get perks. So I can do extra damage against male opponents, and I get unique dialogue options when I'm talking with people with the same sex. You get bonuses when I'm at night. Right? Eyes adapt quickly to low light conditions indoors and when darkness falls across the wasteland. Put a single point into any of my special attributes. I can get the same thing as confirmed bachelor, but for female characters. Retention makes the skill bonuses last longer, and then Swift Learner gives me an additional 10% to experience points whenever experience points are earned, which is kind of hard to argue against taking as your first perk, because that's just going to continue to level me up more and more quickly as the game moves along. Alright, so I need to talk to Easy Pete, and I need to talk to Doc, and I need to talk to Chet. And then I go back to Ringo and let him know we're good to go.
Howdy. Bad trouble. Welcome. Too dangerous. Want to kill all yourselves if I let you touch it. Better to leave it buried. Safer that way. Yep. Yep.
Alright, so I don't have the explosives that I need to get him to give us the dynamite. I might be able to find a way to up that, but I don't know if I actually would or not. I don't want to break them down. I'd want to make more, but I don't think I have the stuff I need to make more. Yeah, I need way more stuff. Alright, so Pete's no good. This should be Chet's place.
You must be the one Doc Mitchell was patching up. Way I heard it, I didn't think you'd be walking out of that office. I've got plenty of supplies for sale. Even got some weapon mods and special ammo. Well worth the caps if you ask me. If you're hurting for caps, I've also got boxes of surplus ammo in the miscellaneous section. They're not great, but you get what you pay for.
Alright, so let's work our way through all these
Weapon
conversation
mods are
things.
things like silencers, scopes, bigger magazines. Special ammo includes things like armor-piercing bullets, which don't hurt the target as much, but let you punch through armor easier. There's also hollow point bullets, which have the opposite effect. You can kill unarmored targets easier, but they don't do shit against armor. It's all about quantity over quality. Trouble is, you'll be cleaning and fixing your gun a lot more than usual when you use those kind of bullets. The leader was a New Vegas type. Typical city boy. He had a bunch of Great Khans with him, probably hired guns. The Great Khans normally stay in their own territory way up northwest, on account of them being enemies with the NCR. They're tough sons of bitches. Mean, but not crazy. They'll leave you alone unless you got something they want. The Great Khans deal in illegal chems. There's a good chance that most chems you come across were made by Great Khans. Twice. Both times I drank a lot of liquor and lost most of my caps at the card tables. In that order, now that I think about it. If you ever get to New Vegas, be sure to visit Gomorrah. It's the best casino in the city. You won't regret it. Word of advice, behave. Between the NCR military police and Mr. House's robots, you don't want to be causing trouble on the strip.
Makes a certain amount of sense, I guess.
I'm afraid I don't know much myself. Mr. House has got his own casino, Lucky 38, but nobody goes in or out except his robots. The other casinos follow Mr. House's rules, so I guess that makes him the leader of New Vegas. As far as I know, nobody's ever laid eyes on the guy. I think that robot who pulled you out of the dirt belongs to Mr. House. If Mr. House is looking after you, it's got to be a good thing, right? If Ringo doesn't head out on his own, I think we should hand him over. Town shouldn't get itself mixed into the problem. Don't mistake that for coward talk, though. We're a town of survivors. We'll fight tooth and nail if pushed, but we don't go looking for trouble. Now just hold on. I never voted to take on the powder gangers. That's a 1,000 cap investment you're talking about. You made your point. I can provide people with some leather armor and extra ammo. Sure hope it's worth it. And I'll be guarding the store while all this is going on. I have to put my business first. You understand. Can do.
What a scrub. So I can buy rounds from him. Like I can buy ammo here. And he's also got, surplus ammo and stuff. And a handful of other kind of random things, looks like. Yep. I think he's supposed to have, like, actual armor. Fancy laser pistol. Yeah, he's got some basic leather armor, which would help keep me alive better. A good thing to have. Plasma pistol. Plenty of scope for the varmint rifle. Plenty of stim packs available. I don't think silence 22 pistol. I don't think he has anything that's going to help me convince Easy Pete to give me the dynamite. Alright, that's fine.
Take it easy now.
Assuming he didn't actually give me anything right off the bat there, right? Oh, he did. Yeah, he gave me some leather armor for free. I will go ahead and equip that so I can look very Mad Maxy. Except for that hat. But got the stuff from him, got the stuff from Trudy. Let's see. Ooh, the bad. Ooh. And then go talk to Doc. And then let Ringo know we're good to go, I guess. Ah, yes, and then I can go check out the schoolhouse, I guess, if I want to try and get some goods from there. Let's go talk to Doc. Ah, hey Doc.
Welcome back. I had hoped you wouldn't need to come see me again so soon. What can I do for you? Well, I already told you I came from a vault. After that, I was a traveling doctor for a spell. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Most folks out here ain't educated, so people with medical know-how are hard to come by. I found that I could help a lot of people with what I knew, and that was all right with me. Eventually, I went back and married my childhood sweetheart, and that was the end of my traveling days. Didn't miss it none then. Still don't. Well, ain't we all, right? That was a long time ago. I don't pay it much mind anymore. This here's Goodsprings, named after the water we got here, just down the road to the southeast. Goodsprings Source, they call it. It's a quiet town, and that's how we like it. We don't go looking for trouble, though occasionally it sees fit to come looking for us. Well, there's a general store just up the road, run by a fella named Chet. He don't got nothing fancy, but he's got your basics covered. If you're looking to wet your whistle, just past Chet's is the Prospector Saloon. The bartender there, Trudy, knows everyone in town. Other than that, there's not much to see. Just people trying to scratch out a living. Well, there's a general store just up the road. If you're looking... Other than... That'd be Victor. Curious fella. He's sort of odd, and I don't just mean because he's a robot. I couldn't tell you much about him. He's real friendly, don't get me wrong. You just get the sense that that ain't the whole picture. Just a feeling. He keeps to himself, mostly. You want to know more about him, you'll have to ask him yourself. He has a shack on the southern edge of town. I didn't see him or the men with him. You might ask around town, though. Could be someone saw which way they was headed. Your best bet would probably be Trudy, the bartender at the saloon up the road. If anyone saw anything, she'd know about it.
Thanks, Doc.
Seems like wherever I go, it's always the same. Folks just never leave each other alone. Oh, I'm not much good in a fight with my bum leg. And my supplies are scarce, but I'll give you what I can spare.
Yay.
Sure.
And then you can buy medical supplies from him as well. If you want. You can buy more stim packs or a super stim pack. He'll also heal you for free if you happen to be injured at all, which we're not at this point, I don't think. Yeah, no, we're not. Okay, so we have convinced everybody except for Easy Pete that we know what we're doing. So, let's go talk to Ringo, I guess. Kick this whole thing off. You can see the settlers all have leather armor now instead of the usual outfit because Chet went good on his word and actually supplied people. You can go ahead and switch back over to the varmint rifle, actually. It's got more ammo. Sometimes that's all you really need. Oh, and I can bust into this safe now, huh? Alright, so lock picking, very simple. You move the mouse to rotate the bobby pin, and then you hit one of the movement buttons to try and turn the lock. If it stops like that, then it's no good, and you need to keep moving it until you find the spot where it actually goes through. Nice little haul from there. Wow! Alright. So I guess it is now nighttime as well. So we can either start this whole thing right now and we'll have a night fight, or I can go rest somewhere or wait somewhere for a bit and then we'll have a nice morning fight. But let's go ahead and save, and then we'll go talk to Ringo and tell him it's time to stand up for himself.